welcome to another special edition of Radio with Pictures, produced in Lambasa during a week where 45 women leaders and young women aged between 17 and 76 years old have come together for 4 days of consultation. It's also been a week where government ministers have been consulting on the new National Development Plan for Fiji. So it's quite a crucial time where, with Family Pacific, these rural women leaders are having a chance to sit together, consult and think about the priorities in line with commitments that have been made through the UN Convention for the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, the 2014 National Gender Policy adopted by Cabinet, and also the commitments in the 2016 National Budget. Where have they come from? They've come from across Vanuatu and Rabi as well, including Tawake and Savu-Savu, Langi, Dongatuki, Numbu, Mali, the Lambasa Market Vendors Association, Nalemba, Vuniduidui, Mbulileka, Nanduna, Vunimoli, Wailevu, Nangai, and Mataniwai. We could almost say we are covering the entire division. The women have been discussing issues as to how things affect them, their priorities. And these issues include infrastructure, electricity, roads and water, access to health services, transport, environmental concerns, including rising sea levels and coastal erosion. Key priority, of course, is participation. Are rural women leaders actually participating in decision making? Are young women participating in decision making? There are issues of personal safety, income generation, the concerns of mothers and communities regarding school dropouts, and what is causing these children to drop out of school. And then, of course, market conditions. We've set the scene, now let's talk about the issues. And we're talking with 32-year-old Aonira from Rabi. Aonira is the secretary of the Buakonikai women's group based on Rabi Island, and 58-year-old Unaisi Sela, who is the secretary of the Vuya Women's Club in Vuya. And you were saying, Unaisi, that you've only just been back 2 years in the village since your husband, who's a teacher by profession, retired. So let's talk about transport, because both of you, I mean, Rabi, in order to get here, you've had to come on a boat, then catch land transport to then, get to us in Lambasa. And so even to think about even coming to participate in any activities in Suva, you've got boat, road, and airplane. So tell me about the transportation issue at Aonira, and how does this affect the way in which women's lives, in terms of access to information, communication, and of course health services?
With transport, it requires money to travel. And in the community, there's not enough cash inflow. So with their income or financial problem, how can they travel right across to meet all their needs? So that's one of the issues relating to transport.
And when we talk about transport, is it also about people from the different parts of Rabi Island then coming to the main center? So is there enough transport locally on the island, and is there enough affordable regular transport to and from Rabi and Vanuatu?
On Rabi Island alone, we have one new vehicle, a 6-ton truck, and one old one which is not reliable. We have few private families that have a vehicle running to provide transport on the island. But that is not enough to cater for the 3,000 population we have on the island. And we have about 500 secondary students to take to school. The setting of the geographical layout of the villages are not close to each other. They are far apart. And the government stations that provide all those facilities are based in one area, whereby the farthest village which is around 16 kilometers away, they have to try and access to all those things. It's quite difficult for them.
So that's on the island of Rabi. From Vuya, Vuya is not just one village, it's a host of villages. What's the situation there now in Vuya, and what have you noticed, after moving back to the village? Are you facing the same sort of problems of just access to the main town center, transportation?
Transportation in the whole of Vuya area to the main center is okay because buses are running, and also the trucks in the villages, they have their own trucks and their private cars. It's okay with that. It's only with the school children that we are facing problem because of the access to RSL, because there's only different vehicles that can take school children to school.
Explain what is RSL.
I don't know what's the long form of that.
But what are you talking about when you say access to RSL?
Yeah, because school children can go in their truck.
Okay, so it's a registered vehicle.
Registered, but not any other vehicle.
Right.
That's why people are late to school because of the access to RSL.
Okay. So we're talking about just transport coordination and needs on a day-to-day basis for young people. What about for women? So if there was a medical emergency, Rabi, in your community around in Vuya, what would happen? Aonira?
For Rabi itself, where I come from, the Buakonikai village, the health center is about 16 kilometers away, and the villagers have to go through about 5 hills, and with a poor road condition that is not good in the vehicle is not really reliable in bad weather. So women, for pregnant ladies and women in general with their children to attend their routine checkups, it'll be quite difficult. So they normally give excuses at the health center that there is no transport. So as a medical professional, I have to take the services to the village.
Okay.
Yes, that's one of the way to solve the problem. But as there's no shelter or no proper place to conduct those clinics. So for an emergency after hours or after the outreach from the medical team, what else can the village do? They have to find their own transport.
Transportation is linked to access to many things.
Exactly.
We talked about education, to service. We're also talking in terms of income, because women are being encouraged to produce their crafts in your community. Rabi has some very beautiful handicrafts. But how are the products getting to the market? Are your products getting to the market?
In my village, we live near the center, Nambuwalu. So it's easier for us to go to Nambuwalu and sell our products there in the market.
But further out for the women, so when you're at the market selling the product, where else are the women coming from into Nambuwalu market?
Vuya village, Dama, Wairiki, Nawada, that's on the other side, and Wainunu, Nasolo, Solevu.
And is it easy for those women to get to the market?
Yeah, it's easy because the transportation is okay.
Okay.
The only problem is for the transportation of our school children. With the adults, it's okay.
Okay. And the transportation is affordable for these women who are coming to the market?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good, because it goes to show there have been some developments in Vuya over the last few years. So I'm going to come back to you then, in terms of Rabi, as the national development priorities are being set for the next 5 years. What are the recommendations, and how important is it for women to be heard in terms of development prioritizing?
Yes. With women on the island of Rabi, we face a marketing problem. Not so fortunate like in Vuya. Like I've mentioned, it's transport to take their goods to the main village where they are government officials. They could buy those products. Not just that, the distance to travel to Savo, which is our main market center. Just the distance, and in relation also to marketing, we don't have enough buyers. For Rabi alone, we have grog as the source income on the island. So we don't have enough buyers to come and buy grog. The situation on the island is that women are buying groceries with grog.
Oh.
And yes.
So it's like a barter system.
Yes.
How interesting.
Yes. So we have 2 ladies running a grocery shop. One of them is with us here, and she shared her experience that people are coming with grog to buy the groceries. So it's like her responsibility to sell or to find a buyer for those grog in order to run her business again.
So
to sustain her
so
business.
she's trading, but then she needs the cash as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's really interesting. Now, I want us to kind of look to the next 5 years, because you're talking about school children not able to get to school on time. So if we think about the next 5 years, and if we've got this 5-year national plan, we've got these global development goals, but just in the 5 years, what is that change you want to see? What would good development look like for those children? Would they have finished school and done what in Bua?
And they'll finish school and go to tertiary school level or USP level and look for jobs.
Are they going to look for jobs in 5 years, or do you want to see the fact that there are actually jobs there for your young people?
Jobs there available for them.
Okay.
Yes, in relation to the Fiji's national gender policy endorsed by the cabinet, that it states to improve the quality of life of men, women, boys and girls at all levels of society through the promotion of gender equity and equality. Also in CEDAW Article 14, it requires all parties to take all appropriate measures to ensure that the particular needs of rural women are met. The community itself can't solve their problem. So we need assistance from all those parties that can help to ensure to meet all those particular needs. In 5 years' time, if the government from their budget, they have allocated about $1 million for the women's plan of action. And they also have 10,000 for community work program. From the last 5 days, we've learned plenty of things from our family program. We've already decided as a group, the women's group, that probably one solution maybe is to start off money lending for grog so that the people can earn income. Maybe we could be the ones that earn income to the village, because I feel that when women have cash in their pocket, they can meet all their needs. So if we have a regular customer or regular buyer for all these art and crafts and all this grog on the island, I know that the ladies will feel secure when they have all those income.
Thank you so much. It's all about so many connections, isn't it?
Yes.
But financial security can certainly help women make a difference in their communities. And that was Aonira and Unaisi. Stay with us as we continue our discussions here in the north in Lambasa in Vanuatu in our next episode of Radio with Pictures.